All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call this regular city council meeting to order. Please join me in Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein. Present. Schulz.
Present.
Lavallee.
Here.
Carncross.
Present.
Gorman.
Here.
Lancaster. Here. Perkins.
Present.
Luna. Here. Quorum is present.
All right, thank you. At this time, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address City Council for any item that is not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4. Administrative Committee meeting minutes from May 9th, 2023, seeking committee action to approve the regular and closed session meeting minutes as presented.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Carncross, second by Haderlein. Comments or questions?
Carmen.
Oh, I say Carncross. I meant
It's
Gorman.
There's a resemblance.
Yes. Hey, my apologies. Not Carncross, Gorman, and Haderlein. Any
Carly
comments
has
or
his hair,
questions
man.
here? Let's make sure you're listening, I guess. None? Clerk, call a roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein. Yes. Carncross.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, item number 5 is the Transportation Committee meeting minutes from May 11th, 2023. Your action is, from the committee is sought to approve the minutes as presented.
Make a motion to approve Transportation Committee minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Haderlein, second by Perkins. Any comments or questions here? Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Haderlein. Yes. All ayes, motion carries.
All right, item number 6 is 6A through 6P of the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that City Council wishes to remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
we got
Second.
Motion by Schulz, second by Perkins, then. Any comments, questions here? Clerk, call a roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Lancaster. Yes. Perkins.
Yes.
Luna. Yes. Haderlein. Yes. Schulz.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, item number 7 is dispensed with since nothing was removed from the consent agenda. Item number 8 is a payment of the bills. Action is requested to approve the payment of the bills in the amount of $562,021.68.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Carncross, second by Haderlein. Comments, questions here? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderman Gorman.
Yes.
Lancaster. Yes. Perkins.
Yes.
Luna. Yes. Haderlein. Yes. Schulz.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Item number 9 is appointment and swearing in of Paul Hurley to fill a vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Your action is requested to approve Mayor Kelly's recommendation to appoint Paul Hurley to fill a vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission with a term to expire April 2026. So he'll be completing out the resignation or the term that was vacated when
Jim Hutchinson.
Jim Hutchinson retired.
Motion to approve.
Second then.
Motion by Schultz, second by Perkins. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderwoman Lancaster. Yes. Perkins.
Yes.
Luna. Yes. Haderlein. Yes. Schulz.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Paul, if you'll step up, the clerk will swear you in.
Up front and center. Paul Hurley. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
Thank you, Paul, for stepping up to serve the city. We certainly appreciate it. All right, item number 10 is Lucia Barnal, which is Delicia Mobile Food Truck, is seeking or requesting permission to operate a mobile food truck at Milky Way Park during the men's adult soccer league games on Sundays. The outdoor market license application has been submitted and fees have been paid. Your action is requested to approve or deny the request. And I believe she's here if you have any questions.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
A motion by Schulz, second by Rosa. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none. Clerk, call a roll.
Alderman Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Schulz,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, Clerk. You're all set. You can see the clerk, I guess, in the morning. It'll be in the morning, and she'll have you all set to go. All right, item number 11 is the UDO Section 8-1 Use Matrix. A review of City Council meeting minutes and approved. A review of the City Council meeting minutes and approved ordinances show that the City Council approved definitions for school trade-in or vocational, dormitory and parking designated area multi-tenant, but the use matrix was not amended to identify each use in the TC or Technology Center District. Action is requested to determine whether each use is a permitted or conditional use in the TC District. So this was tabled, if you recall, was tabled, went back to the Administration Committee to approve definitions. Those definitions were approved by the council, but you didn't finish the last step.
I guess I'll start the discussion. I think the only reason that the parking thing was included and tabled was because we just didn't know what was meant by that, and anyone looking at it in the future wouldn't know what it was for. So I think that one, I would approve that to be a permitted use. When it comes to the dormitory, though, I still think that should be a conditional use. Simply because, not because I have any intention or don't want to help that company be successful. I just think the city has to have some involvement, and it needs to go through our zoning commission when something that big happens within a building, especially one that size. And I think that what I've seen, the city will bend over backwards to help, but I just think it needs to go through channels. So I would recommend it.
Is that a motion?
I'll make can they both be on the same one?
You can make the same motion for both things, sure.
Well, it wouldn't be the same, though.
Well, no, I'm saying you could make a motion stating one is one and
Okay.
one is the other.
I make a motion that the designated parking be permitted, and that the multi-tenant parking, and that the dormitory be made conditional use.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Now, I believe we have a member. Did you have something you want to say? Yeah, please come up and state your name and address for the record.
Bernard Fab, 563 St. John's Road, Woodstock, Illinois. My office address is 18 North Ayer Street, Harvard, Illinois. I'm the attorney for Kai Manufacturing. I was involved in all of the events leading up to this. First of all, the multi-tenant parking was passed as a conditional use by ordinance. The only remaining issue, on December 6th, I sent the matrix to my client. And as you know, the main purpose of this zoning proceeding was to allow the use of dormitory facilities in the office portion of that building. That's the whole reason for this. It's a logistics academy. They need to be able to have overnight accommodations. The only issue was that there was no definition for it. There was no question at that time, no question at any time during this entire proceeding whether it would be a conditional use. My client brought to my attention that after that last meeting, the matrix was changed to make it a conditional use. There was never a motion to that effect. There was never an ordinance passed making it a conditional use. The only remaining issue was the definition of the dormitory, the vocational school dormitory. With regard to the parking, I think that was passed, Alderman Gorman, that was passed as a conditional use. The only remaining issue is the status of the vocational school with dormitory facilities. That's the use that my client is going to be making and their tenants. They're in the process now of trying to obtain their financing, line up everything, and finalize things with the tenants. And they're really raising questions about this in particular, because, again, this was the main purpose that they came before the council. So making everything conditional, they would have to come back all over again and start the process again. It's not an issue, and I understand with regard to parking, warehousing, those kind of things, that depending on the use, and solar, for example, that you don't want a solar farm on that property. We know that. We know that we don't want willy-nilly parking, that it's got to be organized. And those, my client he understands the need for that at this particular stage. But I would sincerely ask this body to make the vocational school dormitory with the definition prepared by the city, which is acceptable to my client, to make that a permitted use under the terms of the matrix.
Thank you for those comments. I'm going to pull up the previous minutes from the previous city council meeting for the city council to review. They should have been in your packet, but we'll make sure that you can see them. I have to find them. Close. I'm just going to read the minutes just so they're entered into the record. From the Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation November 1st, 2022, Kai Manufacturing Essential Asset and Annexation and UDO text amendments. The petitioner is requesting annexation of property to the city of Harvard, and that upon annexation, the property be classified as zoning purposes as TC, Technology Campus. The subject property consists of 12.984 acres and is located on the west side of Harvard Hills Road, approximately 3,000 feet north of its intersection with Illinois Route 173 in Chemung Township, Henry County, PIN 01-25-376-03. The petitioner is further requesting a text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, UDO, to amend Section 8.2 of the UDO, adding permitted uses under Table 1 in the TC Technology Campus District. Will require City Council action to approve or reject the Commission's recommendation and propose ordinances. A, ordinance authorizing execution of annexation agreement. B, ordinance annexing zoning subject property. And C, ordinance amending the UDO, adding permitted uses to TC Technology Campus Zoning District. A motion was made by Alderman Carncross, seconded by Alderman Schulz, to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation and ordinances as presented. Mayor Kelly opened the floor to comments and questions. Alderman Gorman requested additional discussion on 8C and noted he didn't have any problems with the annexation, but had concerns with regard to the text amendments. Alderman Carncross, Alderman Schulz amended their motion and said second respectively to approve ordinance AA and 8B. Roll call vote: Gorman aye, Meza aye, Perkins aye, Luna aye, Haderlein aye, Schulz aye, Lavallee aye, and Carncross aye. Ordinance 2022-131 and ordinance 2022-132 approved 8-0. Item 8C, ordinance amending the UDO, adding permitted uses to the TC Technology Campus Zoning District. Alderman Gorman recommended the City Council review each of the proposed uses individually and felt that some of the proposed uses should remain or be conditional. Solar energy system, principal use. Alderman Gorman recommended this remain a conditional use. This shouldn't affect the petitioner as their proposed use would be considered an accessory to the principal use which is already allowed. Keeping the use as conditional would be consistent with both the M1 and BP districts. This is also consistent with McHenry County zoning. Industrial, general. Alderman Gorman was okay with changing to a permitted use. Nursery/greenhouse. Retail. Alderman Gorman was okay with changing to a permitted use. Outdoor storage of trucks and trailers. The use of a conditional use in both M1 and BP and Alderman Gorman felt it should remain a conditional use. Parking and designated parking areas / multi-tenant parking. Alderman Gorman indicated this is a new use and should be defined in some way in the UDO and be a conditional use. School / trade or vocational dormitory. Alderman Gorman indicated this is also new use and should be defined in the UDO. Vehicle operation facility. Alderman Gorman was okay with the request to change the use from not permitted to a permitted use. Alderwoman Haderlein commented this should also be a conditional use as it is not permitted anywhere else. Vehicle repair. Alderman Gorman noted this use is conditional in M1, B1, and B2 and felt it should be conditional use. Warehousing. Alderman Gorman was okay with the request to change it from not permitted to a permitted use. Alderman Haderlein expressed concern with a warehouse being permitted as a principal use. Any zoning change would apply to the entire property and she felt it should be a conditional use. Mayor Kelly commented that the expectation is that there will be multiple tenants at the property. The distribution leg of the building is set up to be a warehouse. Alderman Meza concurred with the use being conditional. After additional discussion, a motion was made by Alderman Gorman, seconded by Alderwoman Haderlein to modify the petitioner's request and approve an ordinance amending section 8.2 under table 1 in the TC Technology Campus as follows. Solar energy system, principal use to remain a conditional use. Industrial, general, and nursery / greenhouse, retail to be permitted uses. Outdoor storage, vehicle repair, vehicle operational facility, and warehouse to be conditional uses. Parking and designated parking areas / multi-tenant parking in school, trade or vocational dormitory were tabled pending definitions to go with the use. Roll call vote. Perkins, aye. Luna, aye. Haderlein, aye. Schulz, aye. Lavallee, aye. Carncross, aye. Gorman, aye. And Meza, aye. Ordinance 2022-113 approved 8-0. We go on then to the excerpt from City Council meeting minutes from December 13th, 2022. Ordinance amending the Unified Ordinance Development Ordinance 2022-135 approved. A motion was made by Alderwoman Haderlein, seconded by Alderman Gorman to approve the Administration Committee's recommendation to adopt an ordinance amending the text of Section 2.3 definition of general terms of the UDO to add definitions for multi-tenant parking in school, trade, or vocational dormitory. Roll call vote. Haderlein, aye. Schulz, aye. Lavallee, aye. Gorman, aye. Carncross, aye. Meza, aye. Perkins, aye. And Luna, aye. Ordinance 2022-135 is approved 8-0. Tabled item from last City Council meeting, no action taken. Mayor Kelly opened the floor to revisit the tabled item from the last City Council meeting regarding Section 8.2 of the UDO under Table 1 in the TC Technology Campus District to reconsider the conditional use previously approved by the City Council. Alderman Gorman stated he did not have any interest in revisiting the issue. Alderman Schulz asked Attorney Barney Papp if leaving the uses as conditional would cause issues for his clients. Attorney Papp said it causes a need to explain to the tenants who are concerned about their ability to get a conditional use. The client's plan for multi-tenant usage of the facility, the permanent tenant, which is a household name, would prefer that the uses be permitted. He has recommended to his client working out a development agreement with the city with specific locations of parking, properties, and things like that, so it is much more specific than can be done right now. They are under non-disclosure agreements with all of the tenants, so it can't be made public yet. He said his client would prefer that the uses be permitted, but that is at the complete discretion of the City Council, so no action was taken.
Can I just point out that this is the first that I've heard of this being some logistics campus. That was not brought up, that was not discussed at the zoning board when the zoning request change came there. I was at that meeting, and it was not brought up at the city council meeting when we discussed that. So this is the first that I have heard that term. So perhaps you've discussed it with the mayor, who's under an NDA, but I have not heard that prior to tonight.
Yeah, I have a comment on that too, that it's, we don't know anything, Mr. Papp, because we're not under the NDO and we're not allowed to know anything. So we're just, in my opinion, we're just doing our job in protecting the city because no one wants to tell us specifically what's going on. Trust works both ways. And what you're asking us to do is to completely, blindly trust a tenant that we don't even know who it is. I don't understand how that works. I mean, how can you expect us to do that?
Well, and it's making a zoning change that applies to all 300-plus acres of that property. It's not specific to one part of the property, it's not specific to one section of the building or even the building in general. The zoning changes would apply to the entire property, and that's a huge, huge leap of faith to just say, okay, sure, anything goes. So I can't support either of those uses being permitted after discussion.
Yes, please, step forward.
The simple explanation here is that it was, if your purpose tonight is to make first of all, trade and vocational school was a permitted use in the TC Technology Campus, correct? Prior to this request, it was a permitted use. The only thing that was added was the dormitory. Trade or vocational school was permitted. So all we needed.
That's why we had to do a definition, because it didn't exist.
Right. Well, we did a definition because the dormitory was what was being added. The dormitory, the use as a dormitory. That was the
That
thing
was a
that was
request.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
It wasn't a fact.
It was a request, and the only thing remaining was for that to be defined, which it was. All right? There was never a motion or a second to make it a conditional use at any time, and that was not in the
No,
recommendation.
we couldn't make a decision on whether it was conditional or permitted because we didn't have a definition. How can you approve something that hasn't been defined?
Okay. I don't have anything further to say at this forum. Thank you.
I don't think that we're out to submarine anything or destroy it. But what is wrong with coming forward and, like anyone else that builds something in this city, and propose a plan and say, we're going to need a variance and go through the proper procedures, and we can usually do that very quickly. That's all we're saying. We're not saying no. Not at all. We just want the proper procedures from a completely unknown client to us, to this board.
Attorney Papp, you've seen how this building has been the last 20-some years. Have other buyers come in, promise things, and then nothing. One's in jail, or well, supposedly in jail. And so we're just trying to make sure we have all the definitions, and with the NDA, we don't know what's going on, except the only thing we know is from Indeed, from a federal. Well, the only thing I know now from that Indeed is there's one big glove manufacturing place going in there that's FDA approved. and it's a big federal thing. That's my own research. So that's all I know that's going in there, and I know we have all these other things, dormitories. We don't know what kind of place this is gonna be, like what kind of dormitory. I know you explained it last year about it, but you didn't, but we don't know, so we're just making sure it stays only conditional for this tenant, but if a new one comes in, it has to come back to this committee, to the city council to be approved, to zoning, and then to us. If you guys due diligence, see, if you saw this, you should have seen this a couple months ago that it wasn't changed, and you should have came to us sooner, because I think now you're afraid you're gonna lose a tenant, your client. So, but when we talked today, I just read the minutes again after the mayor talked, you said it would be fine as conditional use when Jay asked that question back during then.
So the conditional use is the ones, the multi-tenant parking, the warehouse, the solar, all of those things that were made conditional uses. This was not made a conditional use.
No, that's what we're doing now.
Any other comments or questions? Another option is you could table the matter and send it back to committee, unless you want to make a vote tonight.
You said that the client is concerned that they may not be able to get approved if we were to change it conditional. Have they elaborated as to why they would feel that they wouldn't be approved? I mean, just to kind of piggyback off of what Charlie said, I mean, this body has been pretty forgiving on variances and hearing people out and making adjustments when we need to accommodate many varying different businesses and that have wanted to do things in town. So I think the biggest thing is we just want to know that it's being done in good faith. Because if they're really concerned that they're not going to get approved, then that kind of makes me wonder, like, is there good faith, not by your client, but by this tenant that's looking to come in? If they're so concerned, that makes me pause for concern, because what is it that they're so nervous about? Or could we just at some point meet them and just say, hey, you know, what do you really want to use? What are you going to be doing with the facility, so that we understand? And I can say with confidence that unless it's something really nefarious, we're probably going to be pretty accommodating to them, especially if they're willing to just discuss it.
Your points are well taken, and I understand, and there really has been a lack of specifics about what would be done in what particular location. I know that my client would be fine if you were to send it back to committee, and then what I would do with them is have them come to the committee and get more specific, again, with everyone maintaining things in confidence.
I think that's
And then I think with more specifics, I think that it would allay your concerns.
Because I would like them to understand that we operate in good faith, and we always do. I've never seen we've never had a situation where we didn't. And really, it's just we want to protect the community from something happen because we've had bad experiences in the past. So I think that's a wonderful idea, and I would be in favor of doing that.
Well, you recognize that the meeting is a public meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So that would be
Yeah.
on the
Right.
record.
Yeah, and basically what it would not be identifying the name of the tenant, but more for purposes of showing what portions of the property would be used for what purposes.
Okay.
And then they could give you specifics as far as the dormitories, the actual use of them. Because right now, you've got that office tower, which is
Right.
it's useless.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that kind of office space, so it's a productive use of the property.
That
And realistically, I think that going back to committee and if this is changed to permitted, if this is used for dormitories, if they go in and they make this and we give it permitted, or if it was conditional, whatever, and it's changed to dormitory, that's what it's going to be going forward. So if the tenant was to change, the next person moving in is not going to tear that all out, and they're going to use it for that. So I have no issue going back to committee either. So I'd like to hear this really personally.
If you were to go back to committee, there's currently a motion and second on the floor to vote. It would require Alderman Gorman to amend his motion to go to table and send back to committee.
Yes, I'll amend my motion to send this matter back to the admin committee for further review.
And I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to send this issue back to committee for review. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderwoman Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Schulz,
Yes.
Lavallee,
No.
Carncross,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Motion approved 7-1.
All right, thank you. I think the next committee meeting is typically a Wednesday. They'll set the meeting later tonight in this meeting near the end of the meeting. Okay. All right, thank you. Item number 12 is a Teamsters labor agreement, May 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2026. Your action is requested to approve the proposed changes for ratification to the agreement between the Teamsters and the City of Harvard, beginning May 1st, 2023 and expiring April 30th, 2026, and authorize the mayor to execute the contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Carncross, second by Perkins. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein,
Yes.
Schulz,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna. All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. We have a change in automatic committee appointments. The new cards are on in front of you. Your action is requested to approve the proposed change, approve the automatic committee appointments as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Perkins, second by Schulz. Any comments or questions here? Clerk, call a roll.
Alderman Schulz,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. And for those, Lori, it's this thing that shows you which committees you are on. Should be up, there you oh, apparently they're missing.
You can have mine.
Got ours.
TJ, you gonna be on a committee, TJ?
TJ's on every committee.
Thank you kindly.
We're still playing musical.
I think Charlie must have stolen.
Charlie, did you steal it?
Somebody's got to be their stuff.
All right.
Charlie didn't like his assignments.
He's got two.
Item number 14 is resolution authorizing the city administrator to enter into a contract for the purchase of electricity from the lowest cost electricity provider for the purposes of street lighting through the Northern Illinois Municipal Electric Collaborative, NIMAC, for a period of up to 36 months. The proposed resolution is for city street light accounts and authorizes the execution of all necessary contract documents. This is essentially the same program that we've done for residents as well as for businesses, and this is for streetlights.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Schultz, second by Perkins. Comments, questions here? This should save us some money. Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderman Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Lancaster. Yes. Perkins.
Yes.
Luna. Haderlein.
Yes.
Schulz.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 15 is a proposed ordinance implementing the non-home rule municipal retailers occupation tax and non-home rule municipal occupation tax. Your action is requested to approve the ordinance which imposes the 1% sales tax as presented. Just to be clear, the previous ordinance that was passed did not include the word imposes. And so the county clerk kicked it back to us, or I guess it was the state kicked it back to us, said that it needs to include that word.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Carncross, second by Haderlein. Comments, questions here? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderman Carncross,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Lancaster. Yes. Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Schulz,
Yes.
Lavallee. All ayes, motion carries. Ordinance 2023-112.
Thank you, clerk. Just for your edification, this 1% sales tax will go into effect January 1st, 2023. The city will start seeing, 2024. Thank you for the correction. And the city will first start seeing the first distribution in April, yeah? March. Our April, May, February, March. Yes. March. Yeah, it lags by 2 months. Okay, thank you. Item number 16 is the Administration Committee recommendation, proposed amendment regarding required connections to sewer/water mains. Your action is requested to approve the committee's recommendation to accept the proposed language and an ordinance amending section 13A.02.c, use of sewers required, and section 13B.03.a, use of water facilities required, with grandfather language added.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Haderlein, second by Carncross. Any comments or questions?
Does this have I was just looking at it, does this have the new, what we talked about in the committee meeting? The grandfathering in part? It's like, what part was that in? Because I don't see that highlighted.
That will be in the ordinance when it comes out.
Correct. It'll be in the ordinance when it comes out.
Okay.
It's in the motion.
The motion is to include the grandfather clause. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderman Gorman,
Yes.
Lancaster. Yes. Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Schulz,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
It'll be ordinance 2023-113.
Thank you, clerk. Item number 17 is the Administration Committee recommendation, UDO amendment. Your action is requested to approve the committee's recommendation to accept the proposed changes to the UDO reference, homeowners association common areas, and to forward to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a text amendment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Perkins, second by Carncross. Any other comments, questions here? Hearing none, call the roll.
Alderwoman Lancaster. Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Schulz,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 18 is the Park Board recommendation for park fees. Your action is requested to approve the committee's recommendation and an ordinance amending section 6.13.H.5 fee requirements to reinstitute park fees for local not-for-profit organizations with a fee waiver request form available for eligible groups.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Motion by Schulz, second by Luna. Any comments or questions here? You're not. You have to undo the red. There you go.
All right, I just wanted to point out,
I amend my motion to include that.
I second it.
Thank you.
All right, we have amended motion and second to include the ability to waive for up to 3 years. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderman Perkins,
Yes.
Luna? Yes. Haderlein?
Yes.
Schulz?
Yes.
Lavallee?
Yes.
Carncross?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Lancaster? Yes. All ayes, motion carries. Ordinance 2023-114.
Thank you. On to department head reports. Mr. Day, how are you, sir? Welcome
Doing
to
very well, Mayor.
welcome to City Council. As having been here a month, how's it been?
I am very, very happy and honored to work with everyone up here and you all. It's been a pleasure. I'm already falling in love with the city, so I'm glad I made the choice.
I know we've been keeping you busy in this first few months, so glad to have you on board. So,
Thank you.
anything to report for the council?
Just a couple of updates. Ann and I have been working on a new permit application that went live today, thanks to Lori's help online. That new permit application is 1 page instead of 3, so it's user-friendly. You just got to fill out the highlighted sections. We also created new stop work orders. Those will be printed in-house. That we were down to our last one and it needed to be updated. We obtained administrator access to Location 1 Information System, or LOIS. That's free for government users. That is a site database where you can add vacant sites and available sites throughout the community. It's used by site selectors across the globe to search for properties that are for sale or lease. Each property to be added on there takes about 40 minutes, so it'll take me a while to get those properties on there. I'll have to, whatever I can't find online, reach out to local real estate agents and get the rest of those on there. So that'll be a nice tool for us to have in our toolbox. That is all.
All right, thank you.
I have a question. I stopped by, we talked about that fence around the new storage facility. Did you clarify with the owner if they were going to put a fence around that drainage ditch that's on Northfield Avenue?
I did. I met out there with Tomasz and we pulled out the plans. That, along that sidewalk, it is not identified to have a fence along there.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Because I know when we discussed that in the zoning committee meeting, the impression was there would be a fence. And the concern of the residents living there is that the kids walk to school that way. Now, they do primarily use the other side of the road because it's kind of fluid that way. But still, so if that were to fill up, my concern would be, kid falls in there, kid doesn't know how to swim. We have a problem.
It could become an attractive nuisance.
Yes.
and my understanding, when we met on site, so Tomasz said that he went back and forth with the city's engineer, and to install a fence over the creek, you'd have to have it so high off the ground to avoid, flood waters and things like that, and impacting the flow, that does run constantly, and that maybe there's history of it filling up, but I don't understand that it ever has.
Okay.
So I don't
Yeah.
know that fear is should be there just because it seems to be flowing all the time. So that's why he moved it was agreed upon to move the fence back so
Okay.
that you wouldn't have a fence 5 feet off the ground going over to that side.
Yeah, I guess 5 feet off the ground, it doesn't really accomplish its purpose then. All right, thank you. Jim?
Good evening. Regular report as submitted. As far as the waste treatment plant, we are completely up and running on the new plant. The only thing that's really left now, and things are going good. Honestly, our lab is looking so much better. The water that's going into the creek now looks like tap water. It's really
Don't drink
a huge difference. And honestly, that's only one clarifier. We still haven't put that second clarifier online yet, so it's just going to get better. We do have one digester running right now in the ditch. The other one is ready, so I think we're going to be starting to put sludge over to that digester as well. And as far as all the old plant, everything is decommissioned and being demolished as we speak, basically. So the only thing that's really left for the next couple of months, we're hoping, is site work. So they are working on that, and the administrator is trying to hold them pretty tight to their schedule. So hopefully we'll get them done and out of there, and we can get on with our lives.
Yep.
Great
Last report I got was they're about 4 weeks behind, and we are pushing them to make up that difference.
That's what they said, not what we've said.
That's what she said.
Thank you. Ann?
Report is submitted, Mayor, and I'm very busy right now with grass. As you can imagine.
Thank you. Mr. Lamz, welcome aboard and
Thank you.
have been here a month now. How's it been?
It's been good. The staff is really excellent. Everybody, council, internal staff, everybody's been really welcoming. Happy to be here. I think Donavan said, glad the choice was made. But I'm happy that I was provided this opportunity and really looking forward to many years here. The crew is among some of the most talented I've seen, and I'm just really happy to be sharing a building with them. Report is submitted otherwise. We're just sort of taking care of the normal stuff. We're about ready to wrap up pothole patching and street sweeping, just normal street maintenance tasks, and working our way through it from there, getting ready for milk days.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan?
Report is submitted, Mayor. It's almost pool season, though. It's been going good. The pool is filled. All of the pumps are up and running. The water actually looks like pool water, so that's always a good thing. We did lose 3 of our acid feed pumps, just highly corrosive environment, so those were replaced today. The small transfer motor is in and operational. The recirculation motor that we budgeted for this year, there was none available in the country, so we're about a 16-week lead time on that. Luckily, of the 2 pumps and motors, that's the one that I was least concerned about. So other than that, we're going to be opening up on June 5th. Lifeguards are going to get in the water on Tuesday, so as soon as they're out of school, they're hopping in the water, and then this weekend I'm going to get the new guards into the water to try and bring them up to speed. Everybody says they know how to swim, but American Red Cross lifeguard standards are a little bit different. But all right, we'll be ready.
Okay, thank you. Chief?
Officer Viapondo finished his second week. I talked to him on Friday when he was done with class. On his drive home, he's doing very well. As like before, we've never been to this academy. It's a new academy, so he talks very highly of it. It's kind of a cross between the military style of the state police and the college style of PTI. So, other than that, our squad car that we ordered last February is still lost. However, we have it narrowed down to a town. It's somewhere in Detroit at a dealership, so we do know at least what town it's in now. Yeah. Other than that, report is submitted, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Committee reports, do you have anything tonight, Dan?
Nope, lost squad car tops it, so I have nothing further.
All right, John, anything tonight?
Nothing, Mayor.
All right, Jay?
I want to thank Ryan. I think the mulching at Lions Park looks great, that playground. It needed a lot of love. And so our plan is every 2 years, right? We refurbish, well, probably not like we did, because it looks like you scraped everything out of there.
Yeah, that's what we did initially on all the playgrounds.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we did initially on all the playgrounds. And then they've been holding up really, really well. So we might be able to push it a couple of extra years.
Great.
But we're going to be evaluating it every single year just to see how long we can actually get out of it.
Yeah, and budget for it. No, great. Thank you very much. It looks great. Thank you.
All right, Lisa?
We need to confirm a date for the admin meeting in June. Normally, it would be on the 14th. Does that work for everyone?
Are we able to do it the week prior? I'm out of town that week. No?
June 7th, you're asking?
Or 8th?
7th would be better for me.
Yeah.
Does that,
I wonder if that's going to work with bringing,
Tie-in?
yes. That's a pretty short time period.
We could move it back.
That gives them 2 weeks.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Would you want to do it on the 21st instead?
Is there any reason why we wouldn't do it? Couldn't do it? I mean, is there any reason that, does anything not get done if we do that? Because it seems to me the more
Don't
time
think
we
so.
give them, the better.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. There's just the tree ordinance and the parking on Front Street.
Is that okay?
Well, which date now?
21?
Can we do the 20th?
21st?
Shift, yeah.
20th?
Yeah.
Tuesday, the 20th? Wait, are they both bad?
Oh, he wanted the 20th, right?
Oh, you want the 20th?
Yeah, 20, yeah. Because we're not doing the week before the regular meeting.
How about the 22nd?
That's Thursday of that
Yeah.
month? That should work. Let me double check on that. 22nd, yeah.
Charlie? Dan?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. June 22nd, 6:30. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else? All right. Rosa, you have anything tonight?
No, Mayor, I don't.
All right. Matt, you have anything?
Nothing at this time.
Charlie?
Nothing further from me.
All right. Lori, you have anything tonight? No? Okay.
Is there a transportation meeting or no, for next month?
No.
Okay, I was hoping, but. No, we really don't, but.
Okay, then, treasurer's report.
Report is submitted, Mayor.
All right, and then attorney's report.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Administrator's report.
Report as submitted, the only addition is, it was kind of brought to my attention, just a few days ago that, from time to time, the city does recognition of, citizens, for, be it businesses, groups, or individual, citizens. And, the way this has, typically been done, is that when it's brought, it needs to be brought to the city's, attention. We don't have staff that actually goes through the newspaper looking for certain aspects. The reason this was brought to my attention is that there was one student that years ago had actually won state, and it wasn't brought to the attention. And we've had in the last 5 between students and teams, we've had 4 wrestlers and one, was it the junior football team that won state, and they were all recognized, and this one individual actually fell right between 2 of those recognitions, just as far as time-wise. I did talk to the father. He did understand, and I kind of nicknamed this the only honor I probably could offer them, which is the Nick Jimenez policy of the school. So I reached out to the school, and they're going to keep us apprised of any, be it academic or athletic team or individual that achieves something. So then it's up to the mayor at that point to move forward with it. So yeah, so that was the only thing I could do, and he chuckled a little bit and was kind of happy that at least that we're being a little more proactive on the city side to make sure that that we recognize everybody for what they've done. They all participate. They all add to the fabric of our community. So it's the Nick Jimenez, if I'm pronouncing it right, policy.
Can that be combined with the mayor's hometown hero thing somehow? Well, they're heroes, right?
But it's a totally different category of heroes.
Yes.
Charlie.
Well, and keep in mind too,
I
this
didn't know it
happened.
mattered, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. None of our hometown heroes are getting signs put up on Route 14, recognize them as being recognized essentially by the state for something. So the honor of getting a sign put up is really an honor, a state recognition.
Okay.
And the school, particularly Barry, seemed very receptive to that. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
All right, clerk's report.
I have upcoming meeting dates. June 6th, the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is canceled. The Park Board meeting generally scheduled for June 19th was rescheduled to June 12th at 6 p.m. Administration Committee meeting is June 22nd at 6:30 p.m. and our next regular City Council meeting is Tuesday, June 27th at 7 p.m. And that is all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. And lastly, for the mayor's report, just a couple of things to bring you up to speed on. The city is still working with the school district on an IGA contract, or agreement, I should say, for field use and facilities use. We've presented that to them officially in electronic form. I expect to be some kind of redlining going back and forth, but hopefully we can get that done by, I'm really shooting for the end of summer. And it doesn't drag on like it has with other agreements we created recently. So hopefully we can get that done. At the same time, the school resource officer contract with the school district is expiring here as the end of school, so next week. And we are in negotiations of redoing that contract. I will say that the initial presentation that the administration committees brought for us to send was not received well. And so we've done a little bit of negotiation, and hopefully we are able or close to coming to an agreement. Lastly, for school district issues, they're trying to put in new turf for the football field and the soccer field, and they're being delayed because their engineering hadn't properly accounted for stormwater retention, and so they are working very closely with our engineer to get that resolved. They're on a very tight timeline to try and get this project completed during the summer, and so there has been some delays because of some of their proposals were kind of kicked back because they didn't meet the criteria needed to be in accordance with the stormwater retention ordinance that the city has adopted from McHenry County. So because of the time sensitivity, our engineers working very closely with their engineer to try and get this done as quickly as possible so that a permit can be issued and they can continue or start their work.
Is it artificial turf?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a whole different.
Well, yes, because it's
Infiltration.
it's not it's impervious surface,
Yeah.
so it's a big issue. And of course, both of those fields are higher elevation than a lot of property around them. So it's an issue. Also, we did have our open forum last week, last Thursday. It is available online if you couldn't make it. I will say we had a pretty good turnout. We had some great interaction with residents and people from the community. And I will be seeking for the Park Board and Parks Department to put out a new survey that's really focused on some type of indoor facility to try and get more data. And we're going to try some other ways to engage some of our younger people who make comments in the meeting stating, they didn't even know about it because they don't use Facebook or watch the city's website or any of these things. So we're looking for ways to engage and get more engagement so you get better feedback, so we can kind of start understanding exactly what our community wants and needs. Expecting more data allows us to make better decisions on how we proceed with whatever it will end up being. Lastly, Milk Days is coming right around the corner. Some of the festivities have already started, so they've had the Queen Coronation and the Princess contest. Up next will be the big wheel races and bed races in downtown Air Street, and the Children's Parade will be a week from Thursday, I think it is, and then obviously the carnivals starts Friday, and the big parade and breakfast, country breakfast, be that Saturday. So we hope all of you will participate. And as an ex officio member of the board for Milk Days, really tried to help the city and Milk Days work well together. They've been selling and using this facility to sell the tickets for the wristbands. I think that's worked out very well. But I am also chairman of the Mayor's Milking Contest, and so I'm extending an official invitation to all city council members to come out Saturday to take a shot at milking a cow for the contest. There is get your name on the trophy that's at stake that's in City Hall. So that contest will be right around, I think, 5 o'clock. I think it's 5 o'clock on Milk Day grounds. I hope you'll come out and join us. It's a lot of fun. And that's all I have tonight. So without any further ado, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Made by Perkins, second by Carncross. Clerk, call a roll.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good night.
No, you keep stuff that's in it.
Moller comes back.